What if the person guiding you through 6,000 years of indigenous history wasn't just reading from a plaque, but walking the very land where his own ancestors made history?
So this is near and dear to my heart because this guy here is my fifth great grandfather.
Stop.
No, I'm serious.
Wicked.
Yeah. So his name is Chief Peguis. So I'm Peguis First Nation. That's my First Nation. So he's my fifth great grandfather. And here he is shaking hands with Lord Selkirk. So Peguis kind of stepped in and helped them in a big way. He taught them how to hunt buffalo. He provided them with shelter, moved them all down to Pembina, North Dakota, so they can engage in the buffalo hunt at the time.
In this episode, we're taking a guided tour at the Forks in Winnipeg with Chris, a bilingual Anishinaabe and Métis guide from Turtle Tours who carries a direct bloodline to Chief Peguis. Here's what we're unlocking today: the confluence and the Selkirk Treaty, how Chief Peguis saved early settlers and forged Western Canada's first peace treaty. Hidden in plain sight, uncovering 6,000-year-old trade routes, ancient artifacts, and the birth of the Métis Nation along the riverbank. Living memory and reconciliation, how sacred circles, red dress memorials, and language reclamation are shaping the future.
You're listening to the Rudderless Travel podcast, a podcast about purposeful travel, sharing inspirational stories, and unlocking a destination's secrets.
Hey, my name is Christopher Rudder, an award-winning travel content creator and expert with Rudderless Media. We are coming to you live from our room at the beautiful Wyndham Garden Winnipeg Airport Hotel. What's incredible about staying here is that it's Winnipeg's very first Indigenous-owned urban hotel located right on Long Plain Madison Reserve in Treaty 1 territory. It is the perfect base camp for today's journey. Just a short drive from here is the Forks, known in Cree as Nestawaya. Long before railway tracks, stone warehouses, or modern city streets were built, this exact point where the Red and Assiniboine rivers meet was a thriving sanctuary and meeting place for over 60 centuries. Today, we're joining Turtle Tours, a 100% First Nations owned and operated tour company founded by award-winning tourism operator Ashley Smith, a proud Anishinaabe Ikwe. While Ashley built this amazing business, our guide today is Chris, a bilingual Anishinaabe and Métis storyteller born and raised right here in Winnipeg. We joined Chris on his tour, captured some incredible clips, and sat down to hear how his ancestral roots shapes the way he tells Winnipeg's story. For those listening, Chris just walked us to the Treaty Relations Commission display space at the Forks Market. He's pointing to a heavy, ornate silver medallion inside a glass case. The engraving shows two men in historical 19th century attire clasping hands in a firm handshake, Chief Peguis on one side and Lord Selkirk on the other.
So this is near and dear to my heart because this guy here is my fifth great grandfather.
Stop.
No, I'm serious.
Wicked.
Yeah. So his name is Chief Peguis. So I'm Peguis First Nation. That's my First Nation. So he's my fifth great grandfather. And here he is shaking hands with Lord Selkirk. So Lord Selkirk had a huge stake in the Hudson's Bay Company, and he used his influence to move a group of settlers called the Selkirk settlers here in 1811. Here's another thing to blow your mind. They were actually displaced Indigenous people. So they were Europeans, they were Scottish, but they were Indigenous to the Highlands, and the colonial practices of the British Empire at the time displaced them, and he chose to move them here for a better life. And when they got here, they had a really rough time of it at first. They weren't really well equipped for our winters. They didn't have their lodgings all set up. So Peguis kind of stepped in and helped them in a big way. He taught them how to hunt buffalo. He provided them with shelter, moved them all down to Pembina, North Dakota, so they could engage in the buffalo hunt at the time. We also have another ancestor of turtle tours. He was a guy named John the Falcon Tanner. Now, he was a European who was abducted from Kentucky as a child and raised in the Ojibwe way of life. So he was a prolific hunter, and he also stepped in. He was the market hunter for the Hudson's Bay Company then. And in that first winter, he shot, killed, and processed 100 bison to feed the Selkirk settlers. Yeah. And I'll also point out here, we have the sun shining, the water flowing, and the grass growing. You've heard that verbiage that comes from this. So that's that intent behind the treaties to last forever. It's not a one-off deal. It's a relationship that will last as long as the earth is here.
Now I'm going to make you smile and get giddy. So tell me about your great-great-great-grandfather.
Oh, Chief Pegwis. Yes.
Every time he mentions his name, he starts smiling and gets all like, I'm so excited to talk about this.
Oh, I could talk about him for a long time, but he's kind of like he's like my ancestral hero. Like, so many things that I do, I think about what he would have done in that period. So he came from Sault Ste. Marie in Ontario. He led his people here, and he was kind of going for a better life because there was a lot of violence at the time between the Ojibwe and the Sioux, the Lakota, I should say. So he came here for a better life, and he carried this viewpoint with him, this respect for life and everything that he did. So he was a fierce warrior, like he did engage in warfare, but all the choices that he made were for people, to benefit people, and like giving outside of himself. So he really sets like this really strong example. And there's so many stories about him. He lived to be a very old, and a lot of his descendants are pretty prominent, and have always been leaders in this area. Yeah.
Now you're the leader of this area.
Yeah.
Tell me about the specific moment that you realized you needed to share the history in your own words from an Indigenous perspective.
The specific moment is when I first got an opportunity to work with the Louis Riel Institute at the Riel House National Historic Site. So the light bulb moment there was when I learned how closely my own family was related to the Riel family. And it really sparked this extra interest in learning more about my family's history and sharing with people. So that's what brought me that pride to share these stories with people. And I've just been expanding on it ever since.
Oh, beautiful. So how does carrying that specific ancestral story shape the intention you bring to these tours every day? Now, I've seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, it just drives that authenticity, and that accuracy. Because I'm representing my family, I'm representing my people, I'm representing the land, so I wanna make sure it's as accurate as possible, and that really hones my craft. And then there's that authenticity with everything that I do as well, so.
Awesome.
Travel is about the gorgeous feeling of teetering in the unknown. Anthony Bourdain.
Leaving the market building, Chris led our tour group out toward the riverbank along a path known as the Wall Through Time. Millions of tourists walk this promenade every year to grab food or take photos, completely unaware of the ancient timelines embedded right under their feet. Imagine walking down a broad stone pathway towards the river. Set directly into the limestone wall on your left are glass-encased displays containing ancient stone spearheads and hand-forged copper points unearthed right here during archaeological digs.
That's replicas of what they found here in 1990.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then again, those copper points that would have come from the Great Lakes. And in those findings, we found out that there was a gathering of people here around the year 1320 that lasted for several decades. So it was called the Great Peace Gathering, and there were 6 distinct nations from the plains and boreal forests. And what's really cool is that we have an oral history. The Cree have oral history about this, and they were finally able to confirm it with archaeology. So that fulfills this idea called the two-eye seeing. If you ever heard of that? No. Two-eye seeing. So it's indigenous ways of knowledge and Western ways of knowledge.
Okay.
And you see it with the two-eye seeing.
Okay.
So they'll
Okay.
often overlap. So these old ways of knowing from indigenous groups will overlap and be confirmed with modern ways of knowing.
Chris brings us to an outlook above the muddy confluence. To our right is the Assiniboine River, and Chris explains where that name comes from.
Chief Peguis led his people here. And when they got here, up to 75% of the population was decimated by smallpox. So one of those populations are named after this river, the Assiniboine. So the Assiniboine were like a plains people. They hunted the buffalo. Also called Nakota or Stony people. Okay. And we call them the Assiniboine because it means stone boilers in Ojibwe. And they had this way of cooking using the stomachs of the buffalo. So it would be like their pot, and they would heat rocks up in the fire and drop them in with the water to boil the water and make their stews.
So I know that there's so much amazing parts here, but what's some of your favorite parts? Like as you do the tour, like when you come across, like which is your favorite part to talk about? Like, okay, I can talk about this now.
Well, I love talking about the Selkirk Treaty and telling that story. That's one of my favorite parts. I really love Odana, the heart of the city. I really love that part as well. Yeah.
So that's the heart of the city, but then like Winnipeg and Manitoba is the heart of the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
It's the heart of the Turtle Island, the heart of the whole continent.
It's amazing. I love that so much.
Yeah.
As the tour continued, Chris brought us into 3 deeply symbolic public art installations that bring Winnipeg's past directly into the present. We are standing inside Odana Celebration Circle. It's a natural bowl-shaped amphitheater surrounded by massive limestone pillars made from repurposed cobblestones that once paved the old yards here. Set atop the pillars are these metal sighting armatures pointing to the sky.
This is the site of that 6,000-year-old village that they found here. And it's still the spiritual heart of our city. So it's a sacred space, it's a gathering space, and it's also a celestial observatory. In the middle there, you line your eye up with the sites there on the solstices and equinoxes, and it'll point to all the constellations and planets.
Wicked.
Highlight.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's interesting they used constellations from every culture in the world, and I think that was on purpose. So it's not just indigenous, it's showing that people have always gathered here. So people are still welcome here to have it kind of be their heart, you know? So everyone is still welcome here. We're still gathering here after 6,000 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we'll have lots of walks for justice that start off or end here. Then we have our sacred fire in the middle there. And on Orange Shirt Day, this whole place is filled with, and it's all orange and no green because it's filled with people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Another cool thing is that all these pylons are made from the cobblestones that would have lined all the ground here.
Oh.
Because it was just a rail yard before. It was like a dingy rail yard with tracks and cinders and all that. So it was a really great way to repurpose.
In Ojibwe prophecy, the 4th fire told the people to travel west to where food grows on water.
And this ties into the Ojibwe. So this is a public art piece called The 8th and Final Fire. And it's in reference to the Ojibwe journey east. So each fire is like a prophecy. We have a gathering, we have a sweat lodge, we have a sacred fire, and somebody saw something. So the first fire foretells of the new people coming to the land. And I like to think that it was word of mouth of the Vikings in Newfoundland. Mm-hmm. So we all started off on the East Coast and we started moving west. The 3rd fire is where the Anishinaabe broke off into the Ottawa, Powhatan, and Ojibwe. So I'm Ojibwe, but we're all Anishinaabe. And then the fourth fire told us to go where food grows on water. If you can imagine what that might be. We call it Manoman. The good berry is wild rice. And that's actually the real staple food of the Ojibwe.
Also the name of the restaurant here at the hotel.
So it's a cool art piece. I really love it. And then in the springtime, when there's no leaves, when the sun goes down, this whole thing lights up like the fire. The sunlight on a perfect condition, it'll because it's all shiny metal on the other side.
Like reflects. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Next, Chris leads us to a quiet monument dedicated to the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, as well as the Indian Residential School Memorial. It's not uncommon to see red ribbons and cloth tobacco ties blowing in the wind.
So I want to point out the monument to missing and murdered Indigenous women. Women were so important to the fur trade. They were so essential. They did all of the skilled work, all the fine detail skilled labor. But with colonial practices, they're often seen as lesser than. So it's an ongoing crisis in our communities. 6 out of 10 Indigenous women will face violence of some sort in their life, and they're 7 times more likely to be murdered or go missing. So this is like a kind of a national monument to them. People will leave tobacco ties here. This is the general area where the red dress movement was started in 2011. So red's really important because in the Ojibwe worldview, it's the color that spirits can see. So when we place red tobacco ties with the red dresses, it's so that our ancestors in the spirit world know that we're still thinking about them and still, have them in our hearts.
Walking across the forks with Chris makes you realize that Winnipeg's history isn't tucked away in closed archives. It's etched into the stone, flowing in the water, and lived every day by the people who call this land home. A massive thank you to Chris and the entire team at Turtle Tours for an unforgettable experience.
I love what I do. I really love what I do, and I love that I can do both the Ojibwe and the Métis side, and I have way more stories. I have 100 more stories than I was able to tell on the tour, so
I love it.
It just never ends.
And just for those, what kind of tours do you offer, and how often are they?
Yeah, so you can book a tour 7 days a week on turtletours.ca. We do walking tours of the forks. We've partnered with Winnipeg Waterways, so we do an Indigenous-themed boat tour. We have a bunch of experiences, so we have our Taste of Survival experience. And then in Riding Mountain, we actually have our Turtle Village. So we have our accommodations there. They're off-grid accommodations. And we have a bunch of experiences out there. So we have our Anti-Bannock experience. We have a fishing experience. So we really offer the whole spectrum of different tours and experiences.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, alrighty. All right, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure, Chris.
If you're visiting Winnipeg, book a tour with these guys at the Forks Market. It's an absolute must. Head over to turtletours.ca and reserve your spot. Be sure to check out our Substack, Rudderless Travel Unpacked, for photo galleries of the Aldana Circle, the Wall Through Time, and behind-the-scenes clips from our tour. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay rudderless.